welcome to my channel, Life Speaking Food. Good food for every soul and a word for every heart. Hey, you guys, this is Chef Dolores. And last week we did a meal, a complete meal, and it took a long time. But today we're just going to do a short meal. It's not really a meal. It's actually a dessert, and it's made with yogurt. And we can always replace it if we want to make it vegan or dairy free. But if you guys would like the recipe, make sure you inbox me and let me know. But today we're going to be making chocolate ooey gooey brownies. That is what we're making today. So if you guys remember when I talked about gluten inside of flour, the most important thing when you're baking things and you're using flour, the minute liquid hits it, it starts to release gluten. If you stir it too much, your dessert, your cake, your muffin, brownie, it's not going to come out good at all. So the most important thing is that you do not over mix when it comes to baking. Another thing, if you guys remember, I talked about, I think it was a week or two ago, about how baking is a precise recipe. So you have to follow the recipe. A lot of people say, well, I baked something, it didn't come out right. And if you ask them, hey, did you let your eggs get room temperature? Hey, did you use a cup of flour? Yeah, just about. Well, sometimes that little tiny thing can alter the whole recipe. So food is a science, but when it comes to baking, it has to be a precise recipe, guys. It's so important. So that is what we're going to be making today. We're going to be making some ooey gooey brownies. And don't forget, you guys, stay tuned for a spoken word after this video. And I know I sound a little funny. I have retainers in my mouth. Yes. So bear with me in the conversation or whatever. Just work with me on this flow today, okay? So let's get going. Let's get in the kitchen and make some ooey gooey chocolate brownies. Y'all ready? Let's go. Okay, you guys, these are all the ingredients that we need to make our brownies. So we have our sugar, our flour, our chocolate chips. This is cocoa powder. We have some baking soda. And you see how evenly this is? I left this in the cup. So recipes for baking is precise. And this here is yogurt. Okay, that's the chocolate that I melted in a double boiler, but you can use a microwave. I don't have microwaves in my house. I'm not a fan of microwaves. And then I have this 8x8 container there with the paper. So when we get ready to remove them, they'll come out easily that way. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm mixing all of this together, okay? So let's do it. Okay. So first we're going to move some stuff out the way now that you guys have already seen all of this. So I had to do my chocolate, and then I had to make sure that it was room temperature before I mix it with the yogurt. And it's the reason for that, so it doesn't break. That's important. So this is the chocolate. Put that in there. All of it. Now, I'm not going to use my standing mixer because the most important things, if you guys remember before, I do not want to over mix and you release too much gluten, and then you know what happens. The cake is not moist, or the brownies, or the muffins, even anything that you make with cake and it has flour in it, you don't want to over mix. So there's the chocolate in there. Now we're going to go ahead and incorporate the yogurt. Now you can replace this with coconut yogurt to make this a vegan dish. So you can use coconut yogurt. Now I wouldn't use the cashew yogurt. It doesn't have the thick consistency to me because I made these before as vegan and I had to remake them because I didn't like the way it came out. So when you mess something up, especially if you're doing it for a customer, if you're not going to eat it and you don't like it, then why would you give it to your customer? So that's important. Okay, so now I'm going to take this whipper. I'm going to whip this together. Now, they probably don't want to have a conversation, but they are. So, you see how well that is coming together? And you have to do this like right when you get your chocolate right where it needs to be because it'll seize on you. And then you won't see how it's mixing very well. So you see how this is mixing very well? So that's important. Now, if you want to make this gluten-free, you just use almond flour in place of that. That's all. And the same thing for vegan. If you want to use regular milk, you can. You do not have to use, you can use almond milk in place of that, okay? All right, so I have this all infused together. So now I'm going to go ahead and put everything in here. There's the flour that's going in. This is the baking soda. This is the sugar. Now we're going to put the unsweetened cocoa powder in here. That's all in there. See that? Now, we're going to go ahead and mix this, but I'm not going to use this at all. I don't want to overmix. So we're going to go ahead and just mix this up a little bit. And then we're going to add the milk in here. And by the way, this is not regular milk, it's almond milk. I don't keep regular milk in my house. So we're just going to put that in there as well. Just like that. And this is just till we get it incorporated. Now, this is going to look a little weird, but I guarantee you guys it's going to come out great. You'll see. It's going to mix very well because you have your yogurt in there that's going to move it around. You get all the dry ingredients to mix with the wet ingredients. They got to have a conversation. Make sure you go into the bottom of your bowl too. And now I'm doing a lot of folding now. I'm not doing a lot of mixing. It's all a lot of folding going on here. I don't want to see any whites. I want everything to come together. Now we're going to take these chocolate chips. If you notice, I got some squares in here too. So it's whatever I had in my house. I try to, when I'm making things, look for what I already have in my house. And then I incorporate that into a recipe, okay? So remember, if you want to make this gluten, you can always use almond flour. And if you're vegan, you just replace it and use the almond milk in place of that. And instead of using the yogurt, use the coconut yogurt. So I'm a fan of full fat yogurt. And I say that because it's real good. It makes the cakes and everything come out really well. You can use 2%, but I'm a fan of the whole fat, yogurt or coconut yogurt, doesn't matter. So let's get this into the container and we will go for that. Go there, go blah, blah. Oh, Lord, you guys, I don't know what's happening to my voice today. I do have a little cold, so bear with me. And I am not making this for someone. This is just personally for me. And you can freeze this as well. But I do always wear gloves every time I'm cooking. So important. If you get in the habit of doing that, it won't be difficult when you're doing it for other people. So look at that. You guys see how that look? All right. So let's get it in the pan and we will go from there. Okay, you guys, so it's all in the pan. And this is an 8x8 pan. So it's so important to make sure you get everything to the corners, okay? And it'll come out much easier if you use this. Some people like to use the spray, but because of the yogurt that I use in place of oil, I decided I was going to use this paper. So it's parchment paper, so don't use wax paper. It will burn. You don't want to do that, okay? So we're going to put this in the oven on 350 and about 15 to 18 minutes. We're going to check it to make sure it's done before we remove it. We do not want to overcook it. That also will take all the moisture out. Remember, when you remove things from the oven, they actually cook a little longer. You just got to put it on a cooling rack. So that is something you want to invest in, is a cooling rack. They're not expensive, not at all. Okay, let's get this in the oven. I need someone that can soothe, feel, and flow. I need a friend that knows where my mind goes. I need a brother who could plant a seed in me and allow me to grow. I need a man of God that can arouse my spiritual mojo. Not a poppy or daddy or baby. Soulmate, maybe. Ladies, ladies, ladies. I'm not looking for him. You see, my king is searching for me. I'll be his joy and he'll be my treasure. A man to measure. A man of wisdom and feet of light. Hold up, wait a minute, brothers. Feel me right. In order to get to my center, you must have the key from God to enter. And that's here, here, and here. Are we clear? So I wait, and I wait, waiting. Life speaking food, the food for every soul and a word for every heart.